Commander ZYX-Thor had conquered 17 star systems without firing a single shot. The secret? His species, the Velastri, existed in a spectrum of light invisible to every sentient species they'd encountered. They were ghosts, phantoms that could walk through any civilization undetected, learning weaknesses, sabotaging defenses, and orchestrating perfect invasions. Earth was supposed to be conquest number 18. The humans are primitive, ZYX-Thor's scout reported, his translucent form shimmering in the ship's command chamber. Nuclear weapons, basic space travel, divided into warring factions. They'll never see us coming. The Velastri fleet positioned itself in orbit, and the first wave of scouts descended. They materialized in military installations across the globe, the Pentagon, NATO headquarters, strategic missile bases. Invisible. Untouchable. Perfect. Then something impossible happened. Scout Unit 7 was examining classified documents at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base in Ohio when a security guard named Mike Patterson walked into the room. The human stopped, frowned, and stared directly at the Velastri operative. "Who the hell are you?" Patterson demanded, his hand moving to his sidearm. The scout froze. This was impossible. No species could see them. Not the Krillians with their compound eyes. Not the Matharians with their thermal vision. Not even the Zalthon with their electromagnetic sensors. Patterson drew his weapon. "I said, who are you? How'd you get past security?" The scout panicked and fled, phasing through the wall. Within hours, reports flooded back to ZYX-Thor. Humans were spotting Velastri operatives everywhere. A janitor in Moscow. A scientist in Geneva. A farmer in Kansas. A teenager in Tokyo. "This is impossible." ZYX-Thor roared. "Run full spectrum analysis. Find the malfunction in our cloaking technology." But there was no malfunction. The technology worked perfectly. The Velastri existed in wavelengths between 380 and 420 nanometers, a band of light that should be invisible to Earth's organic vision spectrum. Dr. Jennifer Martinez, a neuroscientist at MIT, was the first human to understand what was happening. When authorities brought her blurry photographs of the intruders, she studied them for 72 hours straight. "My God," she whispered. "They're in the violet-ultraviolet transition band." Her colleague, Dr. Robert Williams, leaned over her shoulder. "That's impossible. Humans can't see that spectrum." "Most humans can't," Jennifer corrected. "But our eyes aren't perfect optical instruments. They have quirks, manufacturing defects at the cellular level. Some people have slight mutations in their cone cells. Others have had cataract surgeries that remove the natural UV filters in their lenses. And the human brain, it's plastic, adaptive. When it receives ambiguous signals, it fills in the gaps." She pulled up her research. "I estimate maybe 1 in every 1,000 humans can partially perceive this spectrum. In a population of 8 billion, that's 8 million potential spotters. The aliens chose literally the worst species to try this trick on." The revelation spread through Earth's defense networks like wildfire. The United Nations Emergency Council convened. General Thomas Burke, a grizzled veteran who'd seen combat in 3 continents, stood before the assembly. "Ladies and gentlemen," he began, "we have hostile aliens in our midst. They thought they were invisible. They were wrong. Now we're going to show them exactly how visible they really are." The counteroffensive was brilliant in its simplicity. Humanity couldn't see all the Velastri, but they didn't need to. They distributed modified cameras across population centers, devices with UV filters removed and spectral enhancers added. Suddenly, the ghosts appeared on every screen, every monitor, every smartphone camera. A street performer in New York captured a Velastri operative on TikTok. The video went viral. Within days, alien hunting became humanity's newest obsession. Crowds gathered in cities worldwide, cameras raised, hunting the supposedly invisible invaders. Thor watched the disaster unfold from orbit. His scouts were being captured, studied, interrogated. The humans had reverse-engineered their technology in weeks, something that should have taken decades. They were adapting, learning, weaponizing their own quirks against the invaders. How? His second-in-command whispered. They're barely a Type 0.7 civilization. They shouldn't be capable of this. Jennifer Martinez provided the answer during a broadcast that Velastri intelligence intercepted. She stood in front of the United Nations, explaining humanity's unexpected advantage. We're not the strongest species, she said. We're not the smartest. But we're survivors. Our evolution has been shaped by countless predators, by diseases, by environmental catastrophes. We're pattern recognition machines, built to spot threats in incomplete data. We see faces in clouds, predators in shadows, meaning in chaos. Our brains are wired to fill in gaps, to perceive things at the edges of possibility. She smiled grimly. You came to conquer a species that sees monsters in the dark. Congratulations, you became one of those monsters. The final blow came from an unexpected source. A 12-year-old girl named Emma Rodriguez in Los Angeles had been posting her alien sightings online for weeks. Most adults dismissed her as having an overactive imagination. Then military intelligence realized she had a 97% accuracy rate in identifying Velastri positions. They brought her to a classified facility. Under controlled conditions, she could pinpoint Velastri operatives with uncanny precision. When asked how, she shrugged. They shimmer funny. Like when you look at hot pavement in summer. My eyes just notice. Within a month, Earth had recruited thousands of sensitives, individuals with enhanced perception of the Velastri spectrum. They became humanity's early warning system. The invisible invaders found themselves hunted by an army of seemingly ordinary humans with extraordinary vision. Thor made his final log entry before ordering the retreat. Subject: Humanity. Assessment: Extreme threat. These beings possess a terrifying adaptability and an instinctive talent for exploiting enemy weaknesses. They turned our greatest advantage into their weapon. Recommendation: do not engage. Do not approach. Flag their system as untouchable. As the Velastri fleet jumped to hyperspace, Mike Patterson, the security guard who'd spotted the first scout, stood on the roof of his apartment building, watching the shimmer of their departure with his naked eyes. His wife joined him, seeing nothing but stars. Did we win? She asked. Mike smiled. Yeah. We won. Turns out being a little broken is exactly what makes us human. And exactly what makes us dangerous. Somewhere in the quantum foam between dimensions, the Velastri broadcast a warning to every spacefaring civilization within 1,000 light-years: Earth is defended by a species that sees the invisible. Approach at your own extinction. Humanity, having discovered they weren't alone in the universe, looked up at the stars with new determination. They had been tested by accident of evolution and cosmic chance. They had prevailed not through strength or technology, but through the beautiful imperfection of human perception. The age of humanity's isolation had ended. The age of humanity's expansion was about to begin. And they would never be invisible again.